My 34F workaholic husband, 28M, that travels a lot is hiring a super hot girl to work and travel alone with him. Can I tell him to find someone else? I've been with my husband for 4 years, married for 1.5. We don't have any kids. I moved from Canada to a very rural area in the northwest US where my husband grew up. He works from home and I spend my days renovating our fixer-upper. Despite his working at home, we don't actually spend an inordinate amount of time together. In fact, he travels very often for work, and when he is home he often works evenings and weekends, over and above his 8 AM to 5 PM day. I didn't know his job would require this amount of work or travel and may not have agreed to give up my own career or move somewhere so isolated if I had. His excessive work has taken a toll on our relationship. Our romance life has suffered dramatically. He's either not around or too exhausted when he is here. We only have romance a tiny fraction of the amount that we used to or that I want to. This, however, isn't my main problem. His company has agreed to let him set up an office in our area and find someone to hire to help ease his workload. In theory, this will eventually fix the problem of his working too much. This is supposed to happen in the new year. Without going into great detail, the highly specialized nature of his field means that there is really no candidate for this job that won't require a great deal of training. Basically anyone with a degree from a number of different disciplines who has some technical skill could be hired if they are willing to be trained. My husband thinks that hiring someone he did his post-grad with is a good idea even though it's only tangentially related to his job. I don't think that I'm overstating it to suggest that I would be more qualified than most of these people by virtue of the fact that I've spent the past 4 years listening to him talk about his work. He has recently come to the conclusion that the only suitable candidate from this group is an extremely attractive single girl in her mid-20s. She'll have to leave Canada and move to our area. She won't know anyone except us and it is extremely hard to meet people here. She will officially spend significantly more time alone with my husband than I do, at least 8 to 10 hours a day plus innumerable extended business trips across the US and abroad. I'm terrified that introducing this girl into our lives is going to cause nothing but trouble. I feel 100% sure that he has been faithful to me in our relationship so far, and I truly don't think I'm being naive about this, and that he doesn't have any current intentions to change that, but those cliches about men sleeping, or God forbid falling in love, with the hot secretary or nanny are cliches for a reason. So I have 2 questions. Am I just jealous and crazy, and even if I am, do I have a right to ask him not to hire this girl? I should clarify that he hasn't posted this job, taken any CVs or interviewed anyone, including this girl. It's already hard enough spending weeks on end alone on our remote acreage without having the added worry that he's off somewhere in a hotel with another woman. Do I just need to get over it, or do I have a case? Too long, didn't read. Husband is a workaholic and travels extensively for his job. He's going to hire a super hot, younger girl to work with him and go on business trips with him. They will be alone together all day at work and on these trips. I hardly ever see him. Can I ask him to hire someone different, or do I have to get over it?
Hey guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me out, thanks.
You don't have a hot coworker problem. You have a lack of intimacy and lack of fulfillment in your life problem. Can you guys move somewhere where you can have a career and also go to couples therapy with your partner? While hard work is appreciated in the US, you need to ensure that it does not take a toll on your family life. You are feeling insecure because your husband is not giving you the attention, romantic and otherwise, that you want from him. You need to work on this issue by communicating with your husband and, possibly, seeking professional marriage counseling. Who he hires is really up to him. My 39F husband, 46M, has suddenly grown very close to his boss, 50-something F. My husband of 15 years got a new boss at work about 9 months ago, and their relationship was civil but strained thanks to some unpleasant office politics. In February, the 2 of them, along with the rest of the department's senior leadership, headed to a big industry conference on the other side of the country, and he hoped the trip would help solidify their relationship. He wanted them to work better together and didn't feel like he had her ear or her trust. They went on the trip and I barely heard from him the entire time. I received one phone call in 5 days, lasting under 5 minutes, in which he told me he was attending sessions all day and networking events all night, drinking from 3 p.m. until the wee hours of the morning. I didn't love that we weren't able to stay in touch more, but I told myself it was just the circumstances of the conference and I should suck it up and wait the 5 days to have him back. He came back feeling much better about things, saying they talked at length and had breakthroughs about how they are communicating and aligning their efforts. They have been in near constant contact ever since. They text each other every day, morning to night, about all manner of things work-related and not when he's not on his phone. He's frequently chatting with her on Facebook Messenger. They meet for happy hour at least once a week, which entails him telling me he's going to get a drink with her and then not coming home until after midnight. The first few times it happened, I expressed my unhappiness with the late hour in the middle of a work week, and he apologized and told me he'd finally had the conversation he needed to have with her about work and it wouldn't happen again. It has happened at least once every week for the past 2 months. I finally expressed that I didn't think it was appropriate for him to have this kind of relationship with any woman, much less his boss. I told him I have no problem with him going to happy hour with her if it falls within the bounds of what happy hour is generally understood to be, a drink or two after work, usually done in time for everyone to get home for dinner, but that texting me at 7 p.m. saying I'm at bar 10 and 1 will be leaving soon and then going dark on me for 5 hours while he's out getting hammered with his boss is not a situation I'm comfortable with. While he was initially apologetic, he has gradually begun to react as if I'm being unreasonably jealous and controlling. He doesn't see anything wrong with texting her as much as he does, as he feels sorry for her since she's going through a divorce and generally having a rough time in both her personal and professional life. I don't believe it's his place to be that sort of friend to her. While I don't think he's sleeping with her, I still feel as if I'm being cheated on in some manner, and they have definitely had ample opportunity to take things physical if they were so inclined. Being treated like I'm overreacting, being told it won't happen again and then seeing the promise broken, is making me feel insecure, irrational, and uncomfortably suspicious. I have a hard time believing him now when he tells me he won't be out long, and I immediately get anxious when he says he's meeting his boss after work. His irritation at my unhappiness is making me question my perspective. Am I off base here? Are my objections unreasonable? And if I'm not crazy, how do I deal with this? I'm at a loss as to how to handle the situation productively when he honestly seems to think there's nothing going on that should concern me. Too long, didn't read. I think my husband's relationship with his boss is unprofessionally familiar and borderline cheating. He disagrees. Regardless of whether he is cheating or not, 1. He made a promise to you and broke it too. You have expressed your unhappiness with the situation and he persists. That alone suggests to me he isn't taking your feelings seriously, which is a massive red flag. At the end of the day, it's your decision whether to put up with this behavior or not. If he won't change, you'll continue to be unhappy. You'll have to leave the marriage. It's his decision whether to change this behavior or not. If he chooses not to, meaning he cares more about spending a lot of time with this woman instead of your feelings, then that is his choice. I'm pretty sure he's cheating on you. I'm very sorry, but no grown man gets silly weekly with another woman after his wife says she's uncomfortable if there isn't something more happening. Me, 25M, saw explicit texts my wife, 26F, sent to an ex-coworker. My wife had a job at a personal training studio a while ago and worked with a lot of trainers, but didn't actually train. There was one particular guy that we both always joked was very attractive. After a while, I stopped, saying I didn't think it was funny anymore, and after they started texting all the time, I asked if I needed to be worried. Obviously, she said no. Turns out, she's also a liar. Fast forward to yesterday, my wife comes home from a bachelorette party in Las Vegas. I asked if I could look at pictures from the weekend on her phone, and she said yes. There was only 5 pictures, but I thought maybe someone would have sent her some, maybe I wanted to make sure everything was fine, I don't know. Either way, I saw some texts to slash from trainer guy that were a total kick in the stomach. Paraphrasing, we both want to have romance, why haven't we yet? I know I'm married, but it feels like we're soulmates. You're so attractive, I just want to be with you. I shut down pretty hard. The wife noticed something was different, checked her phone, and I think she deleted them. I don't think I can ever trust her again. We've only been married a little over 2 years, but dated for 5 before that. She's on Reddit and subs r/relationships, but I don't know if she'll recognize this as me. Am I crazy to think this might be a death blow to our marriage? I'm 90% sure I'll never trust her again. If it's not this guy, again, it could be anyone. Update, talked to her last night, mostly yelled and may have punched a hole in one of our doors, then stayed with a buddy last night. Went back to shower/change this morning and she was there. Evidently this has only been going on a couple weeks. That was supposed to help somehow. She keeps blaming alcohol, which is odd since her father had multiple DUIs and she understands how, yes, alcohol-induced decisions do count as real decisions. I digress, she wants counseling. I don't know what I want, but I think I want out. I'm mostly scared because I haven't been single for 7 years, so I'm not sure I'd ever bounce back. She's married but she's soulmates with this super hot trainer guy. Duck that. End this marriage now. In her mind it's already over, you're just the guy in her way of her being with her soulmate. You deserve better and she doesn't deserve a second chance. You already voiced your concerns regarding him and she disregarded you. Thanks. I just wanted to know I wasn't overreacting. I know they didn't do anything, but the premeditation makes it worse. I could almost shake it off if it was a one-time mistake, but this feels so much more pushy. When she lands on his doorstep with no place to go, I bet they won't be soulmates anymore,